Hello everybody, this is lesson 9 on essay writing, and in this lesson we are going to have a look at a sample writing on the question or the task you were asked to write about last time. You remember the question was about university education, whether university education should be free to everyone regardless of income, and you were asked to write an essay on this regarding the question, to what extent do you agree or disagree? And let's say the expected answer of yours was already let's say decided that you should agree on now this is a model answer, and you remember we said that in the introduction at least we should have 3 sentences. Sometimes you might have 4 sentences. The first sentence, it should be a background statement, and the second sentence your thesis, and the third sentence is let's say what ideas you are going to discuss in the body paragraphs. Now let's look at the beginning of this introduction. It says nowadays, and look at the highlighted words here. We focus on using certain phrases, certain linking words. So nowadays more and more people are attending university, and arguments have arisen as to whether students should pay for their higher education or not. So this is the background statement. Now your thesis. Although there are convincing arguments on both sides, now the both sides here, whether students should pay, and the other side is they should not pay. So although there are convincing arguments on both sides, I strongly believe that it should be free. So here you strongly, you completely, you entirely believe that university education should be free. Free higher education benefits the society. Now you are going to introduce the ideas you are going to discuss in the body paragraphs. The first idea is that free higher education benefits the society, and the other idea gives equal opportunities for all. Now let's come to the discussion. The first body paragraph. Again, we said that we have to start with a phrase. Nobody can deny that free university education provokes people to continue their undergraduate studies. Now we said earlier that this is the topic, let's say, sentence of this paragraph, and to make it clear we have to explain it in the following sentence. Now the following sentence says, in other words. You see, in other words, as you are going to explain, to give another meaning of the topic sentence so that you make it clear. So in other words, the majority of the members of the society will be well educated, which benefits the community. You remember this, benefiting the community? So here it is clear. When the majority of the members of the society continue their studies, then this benefits the community as a whole. Now we have to give an example. For example, research shows that the countries which provide free university education for their citizens have higher levels of innovation and productivity. You see here, educated people, they are productive, they help the society, the community in producing more. Now to admit to the opposing idea and then going back to your opinion. It is true that charging people for their university education helps universities maintain the quality of teaching. So this is the first part, which is the opposing idea. Charging people means that students have to pay, which is opposite to your opinion. So it is true that charging people for their university education help universities maintain the quality of teaching. However, now you go back to your opinion, you support your opinion. However, not many people can afford to pay because it is not free, so not many people will be able to pay for the education. The second body paragraph, again we have to start with a phrase, more importantly. Providing free of charge. See, free of charge. Now here we are changing the language. You see, in each sentence we come up with something new. Providing free of charge higher education ensures quality among citizens. Now we want to explain this. In fact, it is unfair to make university education available for those who can afford to pay only, regardless of their abilities. See, sometimes there are rich people who can afford, they can pay for education, but they are not smart. So what is the benefit here of these people joining the university? And sometimes poor people who cannot afford, they are very, let's say, intelligent. So in this case we have to make it free for all. For instance, now we have to give an example. For instance, studies show that in most countries many professors and scholars come from poor families. You see here, scholars and university professors, most of them come from poor families. Now suppose that let's say higher education was only for those who could afford, then these poor people could not join, let's say, universities, and in the end they won't be able to be professors. But if we make it free, if we make education free, then everybody has the chance, and those smart people, even from poor families, they can become professors. Now the last sentence, although providing free education for all is a burden on governments, and we know that if the government has to pay everything in education for all people, this is a burden. The government has to pay much money for that. This is true. But however, now your opinion, all citizens should have equal rights regardless of income, and this is let's say the right of all citizens. Since they are citizens of the same country, they have the same. The conclusion now, we said that we have to summarize what we have introduced in the introduction, your opinion plus the ideas, and to let's say give an idea about something in the future, or recommendation or suggestion. So in conclusion, I completely agree. So here you are putting your opinion again. I completely agree with the notion that university education should remain equally available to all, since it provides the community with well-educated workforce. This is the first idea, and guarantees equality among citizens. So this is the second idea, and you can see the language is different. If you go back to the introduction or the body paragraphs, you will see the language is different, but they give the same meaning. Now here the last sentence is about the future. In the future, countries who apply free of charge university education will be in the lead, and this is a fact, of course. All right.